this week, guys, we're doing a very easy stir-fry dish called jalapeno chicken. Now, this is an Asian fusion type dish because jalapenos, they're not native to Asia, they're actually native to Mexico. We're gonna mix it all together with some Asian spices. We're gonna use some soy sauce, sugar, we're gonna use some sesame oil. It's gonna be delicious. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to cooking. So jalapeno chicken. Here are some of the ingredients you're gonna need. First, you're gonna need some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. This is about 1.5 pounds. You can also use chicken breast, but I'll explain that a little bit later on. Now for the sauce, we need some soy sauce, brown sugar, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, some chicken stock, sesame oil, and then some cornstarch. And then that's gonna be a balanced sauce that's gonna go on our chicken. Now for the stir fry elements and for the aromatics, you're gonna need some shallot, or you can also use some sweet onion. I have some garlic here. I'm not gonna put any ginger in it. I don't think it needs ginger. And then we're gonna do some jalapeno and then green onion. Now the jalapenos are spicy. If you want a less spicy version, you can either take the seeds out or you can use green bell pepper. And then we just need some salt and pepper and some oil, which is a neutral oil. I'm using avocado oil. It's a very simple recipe, guys. We're gonna start by making the sauce. So to make the sauce, we have here about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Make sure you use a good quality soy sauce. You don't want to use like the Kikkoman's, it's not a good soy sauce. Use something that you find at the Asian market. For the sweet element of the sauce, we're gonna use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can also use white sugar if you want. 1/4 cup of chicken stock. You can also use water if you like. I just like the extra flavor that the chicken stock gives. Now to balance this, we need a little bit of sour element. So this is rice wine vinegar, about 2 tablespoons. You can also use lime juice, but I do like the vinegar, so I recommend using the rice wine vinegar. A little bit of sesame oil, about 1 teaspoon. And then to thicken the sauce, I have a little bit of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Then we're just gonna give this a whisk until combined. Now it looks thin now, but once this sauce hits the heat, it's gonna thicken up quite nicely from that cornstarch. So now we're gonna set this aside and let's get our pan nice and hot, and then we're gonna cook the chicken. So now I have a 12-inch pan over medium heat. You can also use a wok if you want. I'm just gonna do it in a pan today. Here's our neutral oil. I'm using avocado oil. You can use vegetable oil, you can use canola oil. I like this because it's a perceived healthier oil. So we're just gonna coat the pan with the avocado oil. Now once that oil is hot and you start to see it shimmer, we're gonna add in our chicken thighs. I'm just gonna make sure I spread these out so they make good contact with the pan, because I want them to get a nice little sear on them. Now this is probably the only time I'm gonna use salt and pepper. We're gonna go ahead and season this chicken with a little bit of salt, because you gotta remember, the soy sauce is salty in the sauce. A little bit of pepper. Now, if you don't like chicken thighs, you can use chicken breasts, but a couple things I want to note here. If you're going to use the breasts, you want to velvet the chicken, meaning you want to season it up with a little bit of soy sauce, a little sugar. You want to add some baking soda and cornstarch, which is going to raise the pH level on the surface of the chicken and make it nice and super juicy. Because one of the issues people have is if you're using the chicken breasts, it's just a little bit dry, you'll overcook them. So I like the chicken thighs, a little bit more fat content, a little bit harder to overcook. And it's definitely traditional for a lot of stir-fry dishes. A lot of people don't use chicken breast for stir-fry. It's more common to use the chicken thighs. So now this chicken's been searing for about 3 minutes. We're just gonna go ahead and give it a mix here. And I'm not concerned with the chicken being cooked all the way through at this point. And then what I like to do, I like to make a little hole right in the center of the pan. Push the chicken to the outsides. Now we're gonna add in the shallots. Now typically I would season the shallots. I'm not gonna season them now. Like I said, there's salt and pepper on the chicken, and then the soy sauce is salty in the sauce. We're also gonna add in the jalapenos now. That's about 3 jalapenos. And like I said, if you don't want it super spicy, either remove the seeds or use like a green bell pepper. So I want the shallots and the jalapenos to make contact with the pan so they start to soften and get a little bit translucent before I mix it in with the chicken. Also, I forgot to mention too, I have some jasmine rice that's cooking over here, and we're gonna serve that with jasmine rice. You can also serve it with white rice. Now, once these jalapenos just begin to soften, we're just gonna go ahead and mix everything together. We're gonna go ahead and toss them into the chicken. And then the heat of the pan is also still on a medium, maybe a slightly higher than medium. So at this point, I'm just concerned with making sure the chicken is cooked all the way through before I add the garlic and before I add the sauce. Now, if you're unsure if the chicken is cooked through, you can take a thermometer. You just wanna stab a couple pieces of chicken, and you're looking for them to at least be 165. They can be a little bit higher. Sometimes I like chicken thighs to be at about 175. I think the texture is a little bit better. So now that chicken is cooked through. We're gonna add the minced garlic now. Go ahead and mix that in. It's only gonna take about 30 seconds. So the rule of thumb is once you begin to smell that garlic, you know it's time to add the next ingredient. Now we're gonna go ahead and add all of our sauce. Make sure you get that sugar that's stuck to the bottom, if any. Now what you're gonna see here, watch, you're gonna see that this sauce is gonna start to thicken very rapidly. When the heat interacts with the sauce and the cornstarch, it's gonna thicken, it's gonna coat the chicken beautifully. So it'll probably take around a minute or so. So now we can turn the heat down just a little bit. Just keep stirring. You see how thick that sauce is getting. So now I'm happy with the sauce, how it's looking right here. It's coating the chicken beautifully. The jalapenos still got a little bit of bite to them. They're not completely cooked all the way down, which is what I want. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. And then we're just gonna finish this with a little bit of green onion just to brighten it up. Green onion, it's pretty much optional, but I like to use it. We're gonna give this one final toss here, and then we're gonna go ahead and serve this up. So I have some jasmine rice on the plate. We're just gonna go ahead and serve some of this chicken right next to it. Make sure you get a few jalapenos on there. We're gonna go ahead and finish this with a little bit more green onion. Maybe a few sesame seeds if you want. And there it is, guys, that's our jalapeno chicken. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Guys, this is phenomenal. This has a ton of flavor. I'm gonna say this right now. I love the taste of jalapeno, and this definitely is not lacking jalapeno flavor. If you use a different pepper, it's not gonna taste like this. So I do recommend just use the jalapenos, take out the seeds if you don't want it as spicy. If you use the bell pepper, like I said, it's not gonna taste like this. It'll still be good. The jalapenos are really shining through. Our sauce is super balanced. You got a little bit of sweetness, not too much. Nice soy sauce flavor on there. You can taste the sesame oil. Our chicken's super tender. This recipe's so easy to do. I mean, there's only a few ingredients. It came together in literally like 10 minutes. Super quick, super easy, perfect for a busy weeknight. If you guys enjoyed this video or you learned something, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.